will not have any problems tonight.
Well, we're always going to have issues with you, Dennis, but we'll just work
Well,
through
that's
it.
beside the point, you know.
Absolutely. Welcome back, beautiful souls. It's the Soldier of Light reporting for duty, and we have a awesome roundtable scheduled for today. I have our usuals here, Mr. Dennis, the King of Cups, as you guys know, Mr. Jay Rocco, as many of you already have come to know. Then in today's guest that we have coming along with us is Miss Delphine, or Lady Soul Lady D, as she's been known online for. And so I want to say welcome to you as well. And before, if anyone don't know, just a good time to get to know her. If you want to just kind of maybe introduce yourself a little bit and kind of a little bit about your spirituality, it'd be great.
Yes, it would be a pleasure. So everyone knows me as Lady D. My real name is Delphine. My journey has started before this life, obviously, when I got a reading from you a couple of soul chats ago, a couple of shows ago. So I've been kind of an oracle and a psychic my whole life before this life. Started when I was about, I say middle school. I got into, psychic readings. I was always into tarot. I made my own spirit board. And then in high school, I started doing readings like tea readings and coffee grind readings for my friends. Then in my 20s, I bought a tarot deck, and I started to do readings for my friends and family, which branched out to doing it part-time. And I was laid off from my full-time position back in 2020. I was working as a head admin for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and it was a blessing in disguise because I started to pull back from the full-time 9 to 5 grind and do more of my spiritual work. And then about 3 months ago, I was laid off for another contract job. And God and Spirit said, this is the time. It's time for you to get out of the 9 to 5 grind. And, God told me it's time for me to utilize my gifts. So that's what I've been doing for the last 3 months. I've been really focusing on my channel. I've been doing the psychic readings and soul therapy part-time. So I think it's now going to come out to full-time now. And God and Spirit want me to get out of that hellhole rat race and stop working for the devil system and start working for God. So that's where I'm at.
Love it.
Awesome.
That's where we all are.
And when you say soul therapy, for some people, maybe like a layman's terms like myself, what does that even entail? I mean, from your own perspective.
Well, it's a term that I've seen, it's been used around line. Um, and it could be different meanings for most people, but for me, I use it as I call soul therapy the type of therapy that soul, star seeds and people that are intuitive psychic, we have been suffering for a long time. We suffer from mental illness, and we are suffering from trying to navigate our spiritual skills in a non-spiritual world. So soul therapy is helping people navigate a non-spiritual world when you're spiritual. It's helping people like us, the star seeds, who suffer from mental illness. It's basically using your skills, your spiritual your spiritual mindset, and all the skills and knowledge that we've accumulated over the years to not only help your spirituality and help you ascend and to open your third eye, but to also help you with your everyday problems, because we know that there's a spiritual source to every physical 3D problem and issue in the life.
Absolutely. No, thank you for that. I just wanted to make sure for people who may not know what that was, because there's so many. Yeah, it was very well said, so I really appreciate you kind of filling this in there. So today, I know it's going to kind of get going into the topic. Something came to me from Spirit today. And I've been having a lot of intuition things really come to me lately. And I had something came to me today when I just spiritually, something told me we need to talk about raising vibrations around.
Yes.
Because even the stuff that I read today, it's all over. I mean, like everything is just all over the place. And we talked about this for months is that when it comes down to the energies and the things that we're going to see, people are going to start turning on people. And we're going to start to find out that people you think are good and have the best intentions and they're sweet and things like that. Then it's the opposite. because that's how this is working. We've talked about this is a battle for your soul, but through your mind. And that's what the best thing that I can tell people is when I'm just feeling the energy yesterday was so negative, just for the collective. And so did my teacher, Min Chow, that was on my last show with us. She felt the same thing in a totally separate area. Like she wasn't even near me. I mean, miles and miles and miles away from me. And we didn't talk the whole day. When we got together last night, when she stopped by, it was first thing she mentioned is dark energies. There's dark energies, heavy energies around right now. And so what that tells me, what Spirit also tells me is when right before things are going to change, we're going to see the darkest point, the darkest stuff. That tells me that with the cusp of what the energy that I've been feeling, and I'm going to kind of go around and see if others have been feeling this as well. But I feel that the Spirit told me today, we need to talk about raising vibration, because it's something that the vibrations are going lower and lower and lower because people are falling into traps. I'm seeing even stuff. I was seeing comments for other truthers out there today that I've never seen comments about, and there's negative stuff being calling people fakes, liars, selling products everywhere. So this is what I'm seeing, and what they're doing is dividing people. And this person said this person said that, and that's what it's getting down to. And it's all misinformation. Even the people who have good intentions, that's the difference. So for some of you who want to know, like, what's the difference between misinformation and what's the difference between disinformation? So misinformation is put out when somebody has the intentions of doing something well, like I'm doing it with good intentions, but I may not have the whole truth, or I may not put it out, but it wasn't done purposely with malcontent. So that tells me, and then disinformation is something is purposely put out falsely from the beginning with a definitely a malevolent type of energy that they put out for the intention. So there's a difference between you. So it means we're going to see stuff that's put out purposely to just fool people. And we're going to see things that are put out, but with the good intentions, not meant to mislead. But that's what's going to happen, because I'm going to tell you, no one has the answers except God. And that's a true story. No one has the answers to this whole puzzle except God. And that's the whole thing, is what the angels came to me today. They told me we need to work on not even paying attention to these things anymore. We can't anymore. That's 3D mentality. Because these things that we focus on, and I love Kristen and Jason. I'm not saying, just for an example, they focus on the 3D things, meaning, when are we having the RV? I mean, those are personal questions. When is this happening? When is this happening? When is this happening? So what we're doing is this good intentions that they're helping, but it's the focus on the energy that's put out. So we're focusing on lower frequency energies, even though we're high frequency, if that makes any sense. So what that does is pull us down as a collective. So that's why I feel like we really have to kind of detach from some of this stuff. Even my own stuff, I'm telling you, for some of this, I mean, we're taking a break, a detox break, whatever this is, you have to recenter, because there's a lot of things that is going to come out now, I feel soon, that's going to shake a lot of people, a lot. Even people that you feel are beautiful intentions, those are the people that will be the most shocking to you. And that's what I wanted to get. And Spirit's really wanted me to push this out today. So that's why I wanted to work on this. So, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. I want to just go around and see if there's anything. I feel like Jay's getting something. I'll go to you first, Dennis. I feel like I want to see what you're feeling about this situation kind of going on.
Well, I know that negativity is going to increase, but I haven't seen it yet at my end. But I don't know if anybody was doing that last night on Kristen's show, because I was focusing more on the chat than anything else, trying to do what I usually do with the joking and stuff. But usually if I go around and I start researching things, if I come across something that's negative, I'll just pass it by and just keep on going.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm staying away from all that negativity.
Good.
Indeed. Yeah.
How about you, Mr. J? What are your feelings or thoughts? So you were kind of getting some downloads.
Yeah. Basically, they want to chammer in, but
They always do.
You're right about the energy heavy, but also in a sense, I think a lot of us are feeling it because we can't unsee it any longer, and we see it all the time now, and it just seems to be more magnified. Is it somewhat? I'd say yeah, but it really, I think, more along the lines of we are now open and understanding, and we're starting to focus it in. And you guys are both right on uh, the energy of the lower vibration. See, one of the things that bothers me is, and it's not necessarily, it is static, but people want to know about the money, the RV, the Sarah. These things I don't focus on. It's completely outside of my realm, but it pulls me down. And I'll give you an example. I had signed on to Twitter. I did it when Elon bought the thing a couple of days later, and I've been following a couple people. Anyway, long story short, it's not related to like current events, but you can't help but feel this stuff. And then I'm sitting here thinking, 3 years ago I'd have been like, rah, 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 but I felt myself being drawn in. I literally deleted the app today. I was like, no, it's drawn me in, and I'm thinking I'm above that. I'm not.
Yeah.
But the one other thing that I wanted to say with that is, it is our we're all at different levels, but I think everyone does feel it seems more noticeable. It seems heavier. So my question is, are we just more aware and understand it? Or is there really to each individual in their 3D world, because we can't help but live in that 3D, or we just happen to seeing it more and we take the 3D harder when it's feeding us stuff? Go from there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, from my perspective, and I'll go to you next, Delphine. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the things that I've been getting the most of is what I keep getting in my head for right now from Spirit, just to kind of piggyback what you're saying, is disappointment. People are afraid of disappointment. That's the word I keep getting put in my head. Disappointment.
I keep getting scared.
And that's what it. So my also what I'm getting now is the projection of disappointment, or projection of not having enough. And I get disappointment of maybe things aren't going to come to fruition as you feel they are. Not saying things won't happen, but what I mean is the false expectation that we put on ourselves based on what we're taught is, do we need more? We need more. We need more. You need to have more. That's what this is all about. It pulls us in a vibration of we need more. We're lower frequencies. We have to go get that to be satisfied. Have to go get this to be satisfied. So that's what I feel like this is a big thing for me, is the disappointment part. I feel some people are going to be very disappointed. What that means is we're focusing on A, B, C, D, E, F, G is supposed to happen. And it may not happen A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It may happen. We may get A, we may get G. We don't know. It's just whatever God's plan is. But we have this expectation that we're trying to control something that we're not able to. The only thing you can control is working on your journey. Your journey. See how my bright gets light? Light gets bright, I mean. So as I'm talking about this, you have to work on yourself. So that tells me, like, when you do this, you have to, it starts from you. Your light has to shine. That means don't expect something. Don't expect something. Because when it doesn't happen, we get disappointed. And disappointment leads to negative thoughts. Negative thoughts lead to negative actions. And it's all tied together. So I'm going to kind of go to you. That's what I got from Spirit right now. I just want to kind of see what you're thinking. Your thoughts are, Miss Delphine.
Well, I think you hit the nail right on the head when you said, we're focusing too much on the 3D and, the physical. I think we're at the home stretch now, and we all need to practice what we preach. It's so easy to get caught up in the 3D. It's so easy to put on the television and, to read negative comments. But for me personally, I've stopped watching news. I've stopped watching television, because we don't realize how the negativity seeps in, and it's very subtle. And all it does is it takes a little bit, and then it's just like this big, snowball effect, and it branches out to every aspect of your life. Also, I think, because we're at the home stretch, the dark side is going to definitely, try even harder. They and so now what's happening with I feel what's happening with the truther and the spiritual community. And just so you know, I'm very new to the truther. I've been a spiritual person for 30 some odd years without aging myself. But new to the truther community. And I think what's happening is that there's almost like the Trojan horse effect. It's like they're trying to infiltrate within. And the best way to divide and conquer is, to get within the good community. It's like the darkness surrounds the light, and we're all shining bright. And so the darkness wants to get to us. So we really have to be strong. And another point that I think you hit right on the head, Jason, is that we really need to let go.
Yeah.
We have to remember that we do not have control over people and circumstances. And we really have to let God take over, because if we really believe that God or source or whatever you want to call it is created us and created the universe, we have to know that he's got this. Do you really think that the infinite creator that created all of us in the universe and the universes and beyond that is really going to let the bad guys win? I mean, think about it. If you were the infinite creator, would you let them win? I mean, so we really just have to stop thinking in physical 3D terms. We have to let go, and we have to practice what we preach. And we also have to stop the infighting, because we all bring things to the table. We all have our gifts, and it's time for us to come together, because we have to get ready for the ascension. We have to help people ascend. And so we have to help each other, because it's up to us. So we have to set an example.
Absolutely. No, I agree. And I that resonates with me when it comes to the creator. I believe that as well. I believe that the light was always destined to win for a reason. But you can't win. You can't have light without dark. And that's what it is. So that's why we all have our shadow selves that we really have to work on it, including myself every day. But what I feel like what Spirit wants me to say is, when you release something, when you release or you forgive, it doesn't mean that you're not going to remember this. It's just saying you're releasing the energy, and it's no longer going to affect you moving forward. That's the release part of it, because that experience is already with you. It's how you respond moving forward to it. So if you keep focusing on I need this person, come to justice, and this happened to this person, that you're already putting the lower frequency energy out. And I know that we're just programmed there. Believe me, I'm one of those guys too. You do something to me, it's going to come back to you. You know what I mean? So that's just how we are. I mean, but I want people to also know that, the forgiveness part is a big, big thing. That's where it starts. And when you forgive, you have to release, because we say we forgive. Do we really forgive?
Exactly.
I mean, even myself, I've had to work on it. Like, I've been forgiving from my childhood. There's some things that still want to creep up in my mind at times, and I have to let it go every time. And believe me, it just wants to keep poking at me, but I don't allow it. As soon as I acknowledge it and I release it every time. So I'm still working on these things, and I'm not saying I'm ahead of anyone else, but I'm saying this is a work in progress for me. So I know that there's others out there that have to go through this. These are battles that you're in, spiritual battles. And
Absolutely.
It's defeat or not. That's what I tell people. Is you're either going to allow it to win, or you're going to push forward. And I'm pretty sure most of you, God didn't create you to be a quitter.
I want to comment. You're glitching all over the place, Jason.
Am I?
Yeah, you're
You're all fuzzy.
Yeah, speeding up, slowing down. So it might be an interesting night. We'll see.
Yeah, it's usually Dennis that we're having the issues
No,
with.
he's getting.
Why don't you, Jason? Why don't you tell your energy to back off for a bit? So you can
Yes.
relax.
Good part. I like it.
Oh, he's frozen. Oh no, he's
Yep.
letting it
He
go.
glitched. He's letting it go.
Yep. Say a prayer to Archangel Michael.
There you go.
Well, I'll fill this little void here if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Okay, when we were talking about the energies being kind of heavy, I think, and we're talking about the truther community.
Yep.
I think I understand the truther community, but a lot of times I think at some point we'll have to walk side by side, not hand in hand. However, what if trust the plan, and what if all the truther stuff is disinformation? I think people are getting tired of the well, maybe this time. Well, it's coming, or not just this month, next month, and it's always
like kicking the can
pushback.
down the road.
Right, it's always a pushback.
Yep.
So I think some of that energy is the disappointment you guys have mentioned, and that's what they were giving me. What if it is disinformation? Now here they are asking me a question, not showing me it. In other words, like we're saying, acknowledge it. Maybe let's let it go. That's just it. I mean, we do get caught up. Like I said, just on Twitter, I'm following people that do voiceovers. I'm maybe thinking maybe this is something I can do, and I get caught up in their bullshit of, it's just I don't understand, it's like I just wanted to respond, and I'm like, okay, I had enough, and like I said, I deleted the app.
Yeah.
But that's how easy it is, because a lot of times we forget that. Well, we talk to our guides, and I feel the energy. I know you guys do too. Every so often lately, I'm getting an energy I don't recognize, and I knock it down right there. It's odd. We can be fooled too. Just saying, we're not perfect. Even though we walk within the spiritual realm, don't forget they're powerful, but we can be fooled too.
I don't disagree with that at all. And that's us not know. We don't know what we don't know. And that's the unfortunate part. We're learning. So everything we get pushed out, even if it's different, I mean, like I said, if it resonates with you, and if you have other places that you've researched it yourself and you feel it resonates with your soul, that's the important part. Because if it doesn't make any sense, or it's like, because there's a lot of things I'm like, dude, that makes no sense to me. It just doesn't feel right to me. I'm not saying that, and it may be right, but what I'm saying is doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
And that's where it starts from, is because you've already learned this lesson. This is like this reincarnation is like the deja vu thing. I feel like that's when you really understand the deja vu. Yeah, you've known that this happened before. And this made sense. You're like, oh, but this is what we're doing. We're learning from experiences. So that tells me we already know what to do. We just have to go inside to move into that direction, and not use what everything is telling us not to do. So everything is coming at us is telling us what not to do, basically. So that's why we have to focus on the opposite. You know what I mean? That means coming back to old school way. It means growing your own food. That means putting energy into the earth. That means working on yourself. That's because everything is connected on this planet. We are one giant ecosystem. One species affects another. We're tied together, from the smallest ant to the largest elephant or giant whale. We're all tied together. So everything we do is tied together. And that's why everything, even our energies, affect the animals around us and the plants. So like I give healing to my plants when I do them, like when I grow medicine, when I grow medicine, I do healing on them every day. And if you saw the stuff that how beautiful and happy they look and frosty, amazing. And because I put the energy into it. So that's what I feel like we have to get back to. We have to start healing the land. Mother Earth is doing it, but I feel like she needs us to collectively help. because we're destroying it faster than it's keeping up to heal itself. That's what I feel. And I feel like we need to step in and help. And it starts with us working on us. So our energy helps. Everything is energy tied. Everything.
You need to step out of my world, please.
Step out of your world.
Absolutely. Well, Jason, I think too, it's very easy to find out what's healthy and not healthy for us. Does it feel good? And if it feels good, then it resonates with you, then okay. If it doesn't, then turn it off. It's very simple.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, that sounds simple, but let's be honest. Most of us are caught up with family, children. 3D gets in the way, and it seems like it comes
sure.
at very inopportune times. I just fixed a leak that I had over Christmas, and I get it was cold and pipes are bursting everywhere. It kind of seems obvious, but is something going on with water right now? Not just freezing.
Watch the water.
Is there something wrong? I'm just saying, even though it's almost obvious, it's kind of in your face too at the same time.
Well, you had a leak, and so what does a leak represent? It's pouring out information. So things are leaking out, metaphysically, metaphorically, and literally, maybe.
Yeah, I cussed it out quite a bit, but it felt good.
You watch out before I send the sloth to you.
But it's true.
Jason, did you freeze?
No,
he's moving. Okay.
Okay.
He's just blurry.
Yeah, it's like you're very glitchy, Jason.
Yeah,
That's okay.
Very much so.
I've been pulling a lot of energies lately.
You have been. You have been.
You can have some of mine.
I've actually been sending energy to people. That's the funny part. Even Min Chao asked me for energy. She goes, please send me energy. I need it. I'm tired. So I sent her some energy, and she's like, oh, I felt so much better right when you sent it to me. I was like, all right, great. So, I mean, it's coming through me, and that's the amazing part. So I was very blessed. But I actually want to do something today. I wanted to, I've never used these cards before. These are my rainbow cards. So rainbow, there's nothing on them except patterns and things. And I just wanted to see for raising your vibration or whatever spirit has for me. You guys, we can talk. I'm just going to want to see what the spirit has for us with these, what I can pull, just for how to navigate this time moving forward.
Let's do it.
Oh, he's frozen now. Oh, no.
Oh, he's moving. Okay. He's glitching, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Lady D, you got an easy ride on
his
this.
glitch is bigger than mine.
Today.
Oh, it's going to get tougher. Oh, okay.
It is, unfortunately, but we can handle it.
I love
this is the longest. This is the longest that I've seen you, Dennis, without being booted off. This is actually good luck. This is good.
This is good.
Well, then I need to talk to Metatron and Michael more often then.
Yep, they're watching you.
I'll put in a good word for you.
So the first card I have, what I feel like this is something with free flowing, like air. It's coming towards you. So I feel like there's what they're telling me is allow things to flow. Things are going to flow, because the middle card that I have this is like a matrix for me. This is something that we're noticing patterns. And I feel like this is something we're maneuvering through the matrix, which leads to union. So we have to be unified in this, what they just told me. We have to be unified in this journey together, maneuvering through the matrix. So we have to flow. So it tells me things are going to change. We have to be open to how this is going to flow. So that's what I feel like they're telling us is, right now my head's all tingly. So I feel like that's what they're saying. We have to release expectation and just start to just flow, let go. That's what it's telling me. Flow. Just let it go to the air. Just let it go to the universe. Let it flow, because we're going to start to notice we're in these patterns, because it also tells me what the matrix is. Reoccurring patterns happen in our own lives. which means we keep pulling things from before, ego things from our past. Those are reoccurring things like a matrix, patterns develop. So I also feel like that's what they're telling me is you have to be open. You have to connect with spirit. It also tells me union with spirit. As really what they want you to work on is connecting with yourself, union with body, mind, spirit. That's what I get right now. They want you to align, and also want you to connect with spirit. So that will help you maneuver through this matrix a little smoother. So that's kind of what I got right off the top for the first time ever using those cards. So, yep. And take a leap. They want you to take a leap. So that means don't be afraid to maneuver with confidence. Even when things are crazy, if you believe from the divine, move with confidence, not with fear. So that's kind of what I got. So
I got to go with, I think we really got to change that over to spirit, heart, mind, because we always put spirit last. It just comes out that way. Heart, mind, spirit, right? We really need to bring spirit first. Just saying. We need to bring that to the forefront. My intention, I did a short video on it. It just, when we do this spirit time, okay, we meditate, spirit, it's not in the forefront of our day. It needs to be within your day. Even the mundane shit. You're cutting up vegetables. I got spirit with me. Sounds stupid. Sorry. It's working for me, and I feel a difference.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, we have to let go of the ego mind. Our ego serves us a purpose, it keeps us safe, but we're evolving now, and we have to let go and think more of our spiritual mind and less with our ego mind. And it's not easy. And, we all get pulled in, I could go and I meditate, and after meditating, I feel great. And then I walk out the door and my husband will say something that pisses me off and I'll get in a fight. None of us are perfect, but we have to just get back on the horse and keep going and, correct yourself and go, okay, that happened, but enough, Delphine. And, we have to remember that we are not these meat suits. We are spirit.
Right.
So we have to, it's almost like we have to rearrange the whole way we think. We have to think of a different paradigm and stop thinking physically and just really start thinking with our spirit. And it's it seems very easy, but it's so difficult because we are in this 3D world. But if we are going to ascend, we have to learn to let go. And like you said, let go of expectations, because spirit and God knows so much more than us. I mean, our feeble brains cannot even comprehend what is going to happen. We have an idea of what's going to happen, but we just need to let go and just get rid of the egos. They're not serving us anymore. When we were back Neanderthals and we had dinosaurs chasing us or whatever, and we needed the ego brain, that served us. But we're evolving now, and we really need to start letting go of that.
Agreed.
My ego spirit switch is broken, I think. I need somebody to fix it.
And my problem is I used to have a lot of ego. That was my problem. That's me being competitive, and I still have to break that every day. And, even today, I almost even texted Joe about something. And I was just like, why am I having these, I was going to say, why am I having these thoughts I probably shouldn't be having about energies that I probably shouldn't be having these thoughts about? Things from, that bothers me, just something that bothers me, and I feel like but I was able to pull that in, but I also didn't want to put that energy out onto Joe, because even though I know Joe would be like, hey, let me have it. It's cool, because that's how we're built. But I feel like that was a way of me saying, why am I even thinking this? Why am I feeling this way? And that was my way, instead of reaching out for somebody else, was connect with myself. And I actually made it a point to say, you know what? You say you release this stuff, you need to really release it. And I have to practice what I preach. That's the thing, is you say, but the ego gets in the way. And that's me being something, just because when somebody slights me, See how my light just got bright? So when somebody slights me, when somebody, you know, does something that I feel like is hurtful purposely, or just that's the energy, because I've just never been that type of person. Like that makes me want to go, as Joe always tells me, that's the fighter. That's the warrior wants to come out, and that's the warrior that wants to constantly fight and battle because you enjoy it. And that's a true story. And that's part I feel like is my biggest lesson. I was looking at my astrological chart on the things I have to work on. And one of the house that's super lit up for me is my spirituality and ascension part of it, which means I've mastered the whole part, half of my chart of the astrological is nothing's in it. It's empty. So they say supposedly you've mastered all those in previous lifetimes. So now all my stuff is in the, you know, first, 12th, all that stuff up around I'm like, wow, a lot of things I have to work on, education, you know, just kind of being enlightened. Those are things that I feel like in this time, because I've already mastered the having all the things that I need, like tangible things, you know, like, oh, a nice house, money. I've had those in previous lifetimes. And I feel like that's something that I've already done that. So I feel like that's something we need to learn about more of too, is kind of start learning about some of these things astrologically wise. It's to help you just maybe understand a little bit more of maybe this journey, you'll have a little bit better understanding. You know, and I'm not saying it's an exact science or not. I don't know, because they're just going off the science that they feel that is right and been taught to them. So what I'm getting at is there's a lot of things that I feel like have kind of made sense when I've started kind of putting some pieces together for me. And I feel like those are things I'm like, yep, that makes some sense. And today was one of those moments for me where I had to step back from myself, observe myself.
That's where I'm going with this next.
Observe myself and then say, hey, is that really the outcome you want this to go? So I had to step back. So that's what I was going. And I was going to, since you're kind of was going to go that way, I'll go to you, Joe, and I'm going to jump off my soapbox.
Well, no, it's okay. But like I had mentioned to Jason and Delphine that it's starting. This is, you guys are stepping into the observer. In other words, see, Dennis to me is he's mastered observation. That's just it. In many respects, he doesn't necessarily know it, but he shows it. But I was telling Jason and Delphine both that once you start stepping into that point of observer, you're not going to fight it, or you're stepping back saying, why am I doing that? Because we haven't mastered it yet, but you're starting to learn it. That normally you would have just went, hey, let's do this. But no, you, like I struggle with many times, I try and stay within myself first.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get it, but I'm also the guy, if I'm lost, I'm asking somebody, hey, where am I at? I'm not going to drive around for 30 minutes because I'm a guy and not ask for directions. I'm going first person, hey, where am I going? But it is, we're stepping, and that seems to be, that's about 4 people now that within our circle, they're starting to take on the observer.
I can't step out of myself. I can't step out of myself. I'll bump into myself.
And trip.
Just knock me out of the way.
Yeah. But you're an observer, Dennis. I mean,
been that way for 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just something you mastered, in my opinion, whether you realize it or not.
What I tend to do is when I go into first impressions, new environment, I'll just sit there and I'll watch what everybody else is doing, what is being said, how people work and all that. And maybe in about 2 or 3 hours or some of doing that, I'll fit right in.
Mm-hmm. And
I know what direction it needs to go.
I understand your struggle, Jason, because I'm very much like you. And, quite frankly, if we're off in the astral realm when we sleep, going off and fighting battles and being soldiers, it's quite hard to be a rough and tough, badass soldier and use that aggression, and then in your everyday life kind of separate that. So it's very difficult. But I think the whole thing about the ego is that, it serves us, like I said before, but it comes to a point when we do have to just observe. And it's really hard especially when I'm really emotional, I could go from like 1 to 10 in a heartbeat. That's just the way it is. And
No,
The red hair. I'm
shocked.
telling you.
Wait, hold on. This is my
A
shock face.
spicy Italian mama. What do you expect,
I'm just going to bring, for this point of the show, I'm just going to bring this in. Jazz hands. Okay.
Exactly.
Just distracting. That's all. Go ahead, Delphine. I'm sorry. I was just very shocked by that.
But I mean, it's just, being the observer is so much easier said than done. I mean, how do you do that? How do you become an observer when you're triggered? And people trigger you, and you're never upset about what they said. It's always, bringing up a hurt or a scar from your past. So, how do you do that? For me, I it's hard, but I try to breathe and stop.
I real quick. I just got from night at the museum. Who's evolved? Who's evolved? I don't know if you've seen that. That's what I was giggling about. I'm sorry, but think about it. Who's evolved?
You have to learn to control your temper first.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. That's my biggest thing. I used to be.
I had to as a child. I had to do that.
Flip out me
and
too.
I didn't even have red hair.
Dude, it was very dark brown for me. But the funny thing is, my beard before it became gray used to be reddish color a little bit here because that's my side of the family has got all that. So, but when it come down to it, honestly, it was just like my mom was that way, very nice, give you the shirt off her back, but she would go real quick and just flip out, and there's just
my wife was like that.
So I mean, that's how she was. But I mean, same thing. And we was just always seen. I was around violence when I was a kid. I went in the military and was around violence in the military. So I mean, everything for me was around violence, and that was the only way I knew how to express myself was getting mad. Even traffic, stupid shit like whatever, a stoplight, too many stoplights in a row, people going too slow in a lane, shit like that would be the stuff that was really like triggers. But that was like, and I would like go off. I mean, literally like flipping people off. I mean, stupid things that you shouldn't be doing. Yeah, that was me. So I've always had fist fights on the road. Literally, I pulled off the road to have fights with people for no reason. I didn't even know this person. That's the stupid stuff that was my journey of saying you're fired, because I'm a double sad, so I'm very fiery and passionate. So I mean, I just had to tone it down. So what I started doing I had to start saying you need to be different. Literally, Spirit told me you just is not good enough for you, man. And what I was just, and I pray once in a while, but I'm not saying it took me, I've always been religious to a point, or spiritual, not religious. I believe in God, even though I was raised Catholic, but I didn't pray or whatever you want to call it a lot. But I would, once in a while, usually it's when I needed something. And that's the truth. That's where I feel like the difference for me has been, is I started just going from a place of gratitude, from the point I'm so thankful for the things I have. And my nephew, I gave him some advice. He just got married in October. He's like, how do you, like, he's worried about some things. His wife got the clot, and she's having seizures now. Never had them before. Now she has them. So I've been sending healing energy to them as well. So he's like, I'm nervous about what to do. And I told him, I said, I pull some cards and everything and pull my spirits. I'm like, everything's going to be okay with her. I feel she's going to be okay. But he's like, how do you continue? I'm like, keep your vibe high. Don't focus on the negative. You both need to focus your energy like she doesn't have this anymore. She's healed herself already from a place of love, a gift from God. And she have to believe that. So I told him, you have to believe. He goes, I'm like, you have to be present. Don't worry about tomorrow. Be present. And he's like, well, how do you become present, Uncle Jason? And I told him, I said, he goes, what do you do? And that's what everyone's like, what do you do? It's not what I do. And I told him, I said, here's what I do, but it's what you're going to do. You do you. I do me. But this is what I do if it's something just for an idea of where to start. So I told him what I do is every hour even, I'll kind of make it a point to just kind of change this. I don't know what it is, like my energy. I'm like, okay, get it together. If I'm watching TV or movie or doing something, I'll kind of make it a point to say, bring it in and say, look around from a different perspective. Even if I'm just very thankful. Yeah, just thank you for what I have just for a second. Just, say, hey, I'm pulling my energy back in just for a second to re-harness and then let it go again. So that's what I've been making it a mental point. And I just do it now just like it's nothing. Before I had to make it a point to do that, to keep pulling it in. And I had to work on the triggers. Yesterday, for an example, how much I've come, this is where I feel like the separation for me as an observer now is things that used to trigger me don't trigger me no more. My wife and I were there was our energies yesterday. She had there's bad mojo, she just didn't feel good energetically. So she was always, things that she knows pushes my buttons to try to get a response, didn't get a response yesterday.
Good job.
And she was just like,
I mean that.
And it was going to blow up. I'm like, you just want to keep fighting. I'm like, I don't want to go there. There's no reason for us to go to this place. So that was me pulling back, because normally I just want to, somebody said something to me. It's like, oh, it's like nails on it. I want to go back at you. But for me, I had to step back, and I'm trying to learn that. Not saying, I'm just pulling my energy back and use the energy for something more constructive than trying to win a battle that was never meant for me to win. So that's how I feel for me. So that's what I had to work on from that. That was my growth. And that's why I had the dream where I watched myself for the first time a few days back, watching myself do something in a dream. So I feel like that was me saying, hey, you made progress enough to pull yourself back and not be involved in this. And that's what I wanted to kind of move forward with this conversation with you guys, is those buttons. The buttons. You have to know what pushes your buttons, and you have to work on them, because it's insecurities. There's something that's triggering you. Even the traffic, they have nothing to do with what's affecting me unless I made them affect me. So that's where I'm coming. It's somebody could talk to you, get mad at you. It's how you respond. And that's what it is first response is always, you have to pump the brakes. That's what I'm learning to do, is pump the brakes. Take a step back. Is this really where you want to use your energy for? So I feel like that's something you guys can work on as well. I mean, find your triggers. I mean, that's the biggest thing.
Me and Delphine were talking about this just last day or so. Also, I believe it was.
Yep.
Delphine,
I have a very similar background and circumstances, Jason. I was brought up Catholic as well, and very volatile family, and it's so easy to be triggered. And I was speaking about this with Joe, and like you said, taking a step back and trying to be the observer and kind of try to look at the bird's eye view of it. But also, I think that when we're highly intuitive and we're empathic, or we're absorbing people's energy. So is it really ours just that's making us mad, or is it our energy that's making us angry, on also the anger of the other person? So when, because you're a channel and you're highly intuitive like I am. And a lot of times it's like, I find myself getting pissed off, and yeah, it could be mine, but is it mine or is it someone else's? And also too, is I could be just sitting there and nothing, and I could be, be having a fine day, but all of a sudden I'll get in a bad mood. So is that somebody else's? So I think we have to really protect ourselves.
Exactly. We talk about the energetic, keeping your energetic perimeter, be vigilant.
Yep.
Because there's travelers. You may not see them, but there's travelers all the time. Like she said, even if the traffic, the energies around you, it could be what happened on the land. There's some things that you feel the energies. That's exactly right. Same thing. My wife, she's a very empathic. She feels a lot of energy. So that's what I feel she was feeling, but we were able to release this stuff. So that's where it comes down to. Some of these feelings you may have or feel may not be your energies. Like I used to have that all the time. Like, why am I pissed all of a sudden? Why am I upset? What is bothering me? Why am I triggered now for no reason? So those are things that like I said, back then I didn't make any sense of them. Like, oh, whatever. I'm just maybe having a bad day or whatever, something along that. I would make excuses for myself of why I was feeling that way instead of trying to delve into it and feel, how can I work on this? So that's where I feel like it starts. You have to learn your triggers. There's triggers that I'm still working on. And I feel like that's breaking your own matrix, as the cards mention. That's what we talked about, being fluid. You have to maneuver through this matrix of your own existence in order to have that perfect union with your spirit, mind, and with the divine and your body. So everything has to be in alignment in order to progress. And that's what I feel like our bodies are sick because our minds are sick. See how his lights are flickering, and our mind is sick because our spirit has been sickened, been dampened. So it's all tied together. So you can't heal the physical body if your spiritual body isn't in alignment. If that makes any sense to people, that's why people like, I keep getting sick. I feel like I get colds all the time. It's because there's something energetically that's out of alignment for you. This is not in alignment. So you'll have those leeches, those energetic vampires, those things will just attach to you. And that's exactly where it starts. Everything has to come into alignment. That's working on yourself and just kind of bringing everything in, letting go of these things, these people who've hurt you. You've hurt others. We've all made mistakes in our lives. Believe me, even myself included, so it's moving past that. You grow from that. As soon as you let it go, fully let it go, you're releasing it to no longer affect your present or your future. So that's where I feel like it starts. And that's how you raise vibrations. When it comes back to Tanya, what your question is, what is a practical real-time way to literally raise one's vibration when the energy is dense and we feel like we're being sucked in? Okay. So when it comes to that, my first thoughts, what I'm telling you, what I do is you'll feel your energies right away. So if there's energy that's low, people around you, maybe where you walk into, in a building, maybe the people that you're interacting with, maybe they're just low frequency people. If you feel that energy is low, or what you do is, if you feel it right away, acknowledge that the energy is around you. But what you do is set a divine protection around you, and also send this energy away. You can do that with your intention. I'm sending this negative energy away and I'm healing it with love. That means you have to literally, even if it doesn't feel like it works right away, I guarantee you it diffuses some of that negativity. If you look at it like a big glob of mud, your energy kind of just splinters it. There's still going to be mud around, but you've splintered it, and it's your intention. So it's all about, if you allow that to suck your energy down, that's what you're going to be into that. But if you just kind of say, you know what, I'm protected, I'm healing this energy, and you send this with your intention to heal and release that, it will. That's how powerful you are. You just have to believe it. That's where it starts, as the belief. A lot of people they're on this, and we all talk, is the belief part. Show me. You have to show me. That's the ego we just came back to. It's like a circle. We keep bringing it. You have to show me. I mean, I ask for my guides too. That's me, my way of saying show me, because when I connect, that's me asking them to show me. And some answers you may not want to know, but they're going to tell you if you're ready for that. So that's where I feel like it starts. You have to have the light, but you're also going to be dark. There's darkness there for that base. Your base, you know what I mean? It's here. It's dark, but up here it's light. So as you ascend, you have to have the balance where the dark doesn't it's like the old, like the devil on one shoulder, the angel on the other shoulder. Do the bad things. Oh, there's no, it's okay. Do what you want. Are you sure you want to do this? This is the better side of you that's saying, don't do that. That's literally what they're putting. That's what you battle with every day. That's what I battle with every day. Do I allow these thoughts and these energies to affect me now? Not any longer. Not as much, at least. A lot of these things that used to bother me, and I'm progressing. So that's why I wanted people to know that this is something that it's a work in progress. So you raise your vibrations by starting every day. Change what you do. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
And recognizing it.
Once you can believe without seeing, you've taken the pebble out of my hand.
Young grasshopper.
Exactly. Exactly.
It is when you recognize it. Okay, let's say our shortcomings. I don't think anyone believes they're perfect. But like you, Jason, with you're realizing that fight, you can the observer learning into that. We all have not so much good habits, but they're habits. They're built into us. But if we can break those, part of that is the recognition and then we start the process. That raises our vibrations because it's being honest. It's being honest with yourself. That's important. When you can be honest with yourself and go, yeah, okay, let me just say something like, okay, I can be an asshole.
Yeah.
Realize that. Okay, well, do something about it. I mean, my wife doesn't think I'm an asshole. I'm wonderful. But no, I'm just saying, it's one of those things where we do certain things. The other day, my wife said something, oh, I found whatever. I think it was something, one of the doorbells that we could hear it. And I was kind of like, okay.
Was it a train horn?
No, it's like the ring kind of doorbell thing.
Oh, yeah.
It chimes in the house. And I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
I have one of those.
And I said, okay. Well, she was kind of disappointed. And then I kind of jagged her around. Was like, I am so thankful you found that thing. That was the wrong thing to say at that time. Unbeknownst to me, I thought I was being funny. Didn't go over real funny. But I apologized. I was like, okay, I really didn't know how you wanted me to say to that, because I really could care less. Not to be mean, but that doorbell, if someone's at the door and they're ringing my doorbell, I obviously don't know who it is, so I don't want them here. It's win-win for me that doorbell doesn't ring, so, but I apologize. It was the wrong thing to say. But I realized I was a jerk at that point. And, her not realizing that it really meant nothing to me either. So just the same thing. Sorry, personal story.
That's perfect. That's very personal for you. Exactly. But you're able to, I mean, old Jay might have just kind of still rolled with it. You know what I mean? New Jay says, okay, I was a dick. My pride kind of.
I was going to say that. You said it. Thank you. I was going to say I was a dick.
I'm not going anywhere near that one.
No.
Yeah. But.
Yeah, I think also
it raises our vibration. Recognize.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Also to get back to Tanya's question, I think too is setting boundaries with people. Obviously there's people that we can't cut out of our lives, like for family, for instance. For me, family is a big trigger because I'm still suffering from trauma from my family, from my childhood. And, no matter how much therapy and how much personal work you do, it still happens. It still comes back, it still comes back when you think you're over it. Even when you're in your 50s, you still get triggered. So setting boundaries, and, there's our times when you're not going to be able to be around people. Sometimes you need a break from people. Sometimes you can say, I can talk to you on the phone for 15 minutes and that's it. And then you say, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. Or sometimes it's not talking to people at all. Sometimes it's just texting. For me, I decided not to spend Christmas with my family because they trigger me. And even though I felt the obligation of going there because they're my family and it's the holidays, I know that it wasn't good for me and that I'm going to leave there feeling bad. So I decided that I wasn't going to see them this Christmas, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to cut them out of my life. It just means that I'll see them on my own terms, maybe separately. But I know that as a whole, when they all get together, it's insanity and it's not good for me. So, and when I do have to spend time with them, simple tricks like covering your solar plexus. Like literally, if you can't get out of a situation and you're being drained by an energy vampire, it's your boss or it's your wife or your husband, you can't get away from them, just simply covering your solar plexus. You'd be amazed at how much energy stays with you and bounces back to the other person. And just like you always do, SOUldier, the white light around you. These simple things really make a difference. And when you set, physical and I guess spiritual boundaries and what you're going to accept and what you're not going to accept and what you're not going to let in and what you're going to let in, it really makes a huge difference.
Absolutely.
And also the way you start the day. If you start the day looking at, politics and stuff that's going to get you, in a bad mood, it's just going to snowball and it's going to make your day worse and worse and worse. So you really just need to start your day with centering yourself, meditating, praying, and then you can get off, make your armor of God, as you would say, Jay, strong before you go out into the world. Because if you don't have that spiritual armor on, then you're easily infiltrated by all these energies that aren't yours.
Yeah. If you have to start your day with that something,
Yes.
anything outside of you for 10, you don't have 10, 15 minutes that you can't just, you have to have noise on or something. Change that.
Right.
You know,
If you can't,
you'll find out you're actually a pretty nice person inside. Take some time to get to know yourself, you know?
right. And if you can't meditate, take a walk. Like I know, like a lot of people that can't meditate, can't sit there. Take a walk, or ground yourself. Go outside and put your foot in the snow, even if it's cold. Exercise. You don't have to sit there and do kumbaya. And it took me so many years to get to the point where I needed to meditate. And that's another thing. There's so many people go, I can't meditate. Just tried. Have you tried? I mean, did you get on a bike and ride 5K? You have to like start slow. You have to at least try, and it has to be tailored to you. You can't do what other people are doing. It has to be something that's good for you.
That's funny because that's the conversation segued into what I was going to cover next, was about meditation. And people were saying, well, I don't know how to meditate, or I'm not good at it. I tried it. Okay, well, we tried it and then we just quit. I mean, so what I tell people, and that comes back to even what Jay just mentioned. If you look at, first thing you want to do is grab your phone and look at all the negative stuff around, because that's what we're trained to do in our mind, and we're attached to these things, or whatever this is. Change that for a minute. Okay. That means instead of looking at your phone first thing in the morning, take a breath. Doesn't mean you have to close your eyes and go om, om, om. What that means is just quiet your mind. From a thankful place. Thank you for waking me up today, God, for a beautiful day. Whatever it is. Thank you for, if you're happy because you had a good night's sleep, or thank you for the bed. Thank you for a roof over my head. Whatever it is that you have, and I go to bed. That's what I do before I go to sleep. And I thank all my guides for protecting me and guiding me. And I do it first thing in the morning. God, first thing, say thank you. Every meal, everything I do, I even say thank you, I love you into my water when I make them. Everything. I do that stuff because that pulls me in and it tells me thank you. I'm very thankful for the things that I have. So that's something I had to change from my mentality as well, because I was always wanting to do more, get more, get more. I don't have enough. And I still battle with that, like we all do. But it's becoming less and less important for me, where it's not coming into my forefront of my mind all the time, at all, hardly. Because honestly, I know things are going to be okay, and what I'm meant to have in this lifetime, I'm going to have, based on the energy I put out. I know what's going to come back. So that's what I want people to know, is that these are personal things that we all deal with on a day-to-day basis. We've all shared some experiences. Just quieting your mind. So that's what I had to do differently. I changed what I did. Instead of just getting up, oh man, my back is sore. I step down, like, oh, it aches in my feet, because I had that stuff. But honestly, since I've stopped doing that, besides the thing that I had the last time, my back doesn't hurt anymore. You know what I mean? I don't get like tension in the back of my neck like I used to. I don't have a lot of these things. My knees don't hurt as much. These things, because I feel like I'm releasing some of these traumas and these things from my body. So I feel like that's my way of, like, me becoming into alignment, as we talked about. This all kind of comes together. You have to come into alignment. Whatever that looks like for you is different than me, and what Jay does, and what Dennis does, and what Delphine does. It's tailored to you because it's your journey. And reaching out for others for support is good, because they're going to share that beautiful energy. That's what we're here to do. But it also comes back to taking what you can and working with it. But it's your job to work on you. Don't quit. Don't quit. That's where it starts at. That's a good thing that God made me very competitive for, the fight part of me, because I don't like to lose. And I feel like I need to do more. And that was part of me. I'm learning that when something is difficult, I keep pushing forward through it. And when I've done that, it's helped me grow on the other side. Like, wow, look what I accomplished. It was bleak for me, and I didn't think it was going to work out. And it worked out so beautiful. And I learned so much from these experiences. I'm sure Dennis can probably say, and Delphine and Jay, for the same thing. Keep pushing. Keep those feet moving, as we talk about. This is a marathon, guys. This
I
isn't a
don't do
sprint.
so well in marathons.
My long distance days of running are over since the military, man. I don't do any more of that stuff,
There's no more PT for me.
right? But yeah, I mean, what do you think there, Jay? I mean, what are some of your thoughts?
Jay's PT is bigger than mine.
I love you. I really do. I so enjoy Dennis. Truly, at the end of the day, we're all learning. I wouldn't say at the end of this process, but at some point in the process, you have to realize you are all you'll ever need.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's hard to see it. I mean, like husband, wife, couples, whatever. I've made the analogy like Adam's always looking for his rib, you know. The rib's always looking for Adam. At the end of the day, we do complement each other. We can complete each other. But at the end of the day, once you get to the point of comfort and acknowledgement, you are all you have ever needed. That's it. And there's a lot of love in that statement.
Absolutely. Yeah, when none of us are perfect,
No.
and we're all learning. And the thing is too is that we all have to support each other. And another way to raise vibration and to keep it there is to be around people that raise your vibration. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I started my channels, because as a soul tribe, our vibrations are phenomenal. I mean, the people in the soul tribe are just incredible. And when we come together, it's like we're little waves into this that flow into this big sea, and we're so much more powerful when we band together in our positivity. And and also, if we're going to be these big spiritual, well, a lot of us are spiritual warriors, but if we're going to be there and be there for the ascension and help people with their spiritual ascension, we have to be battle tested. I mean, we're not going to be these big, as Ismail Perez says, we're going to be more, more powerful than angels. Well, if we're going to be more powerful than angels, then we're going to have to be the humans and go through the struggles and be the assholes and go through what we need to do, for when we are the powerful angels, we'll know what it's like to have struggled to be human. So we have to get through this. You can't be battle tested without going through the battle. So give ourselves a break and just, like you said, just keep on plugging along. If you get in a fight, apologize and keep on going. We're not perfect, but we are strong. And Jay's right. We are all we need. And all this love that we're trying to seek from material things and relationships is really, we're just craving the love of God. And that's the ultimate love that I think we're all kind of searching for, or kind of remembering, and we kind of forget that when we want that feeling back from when we're in heaven and we're here on earth, and we're not going to get that, so we just have to take it for what it is and try to do the best we can.
Absolutely. What are you thinking there, Dennis?
I'm thinking that you all still need to come up to where my level is.
Come up to your level?
Dragging you. No, I've been through that a long time ago.
Nice.
All the anger, all the fighting and all that's all gone away from me. I've already passed that. I think it's more of a serene, pacifying type thing now. I can get triggered, sure, but I know I can turn and walk away too.
Absolutely.
As far as covering the solar plexus, I used to do that all the time. Every time I walked into the kitchen, my wife was holding a butcher knife.
You don't want to accidentally trip and fall on it?
Or I don't want to be like Lorena Bobbitt,
Right?
What did I just walk into?
Right. A Dennis moment.
I drink a lot
It's
of coffee.
always fun with Dennis.
Dennis,
I put my headphones on. It's like Lorena Bobbitt. I'm like, what did I miss?
Well, you can watch this when you get back, or when this is done, right?
I'm just trying to,
No, we weren't talking about you. We were talking about me walking into
Is it a
my.
fractal? Is it a fractal or a
Well,
hole?
I don't know if it was or not. I just don't want to go through it.
No.
Perfect timing, exactly. So, but yeah, I mean, that's what I feel like. It's a work in progress. I mean, that's the only thing that I can tell people, because there's no easy fix to things. I mean, I wish I could just snap my fingers, and only thing that could do that. I mean, if God even, I'm sure God has fingers. They say they were made in His image, but who knows? I mean, that could also be, who knows? I don't know. I don't even want to get into that, but I feel like I'm here and I'm special. I feel like I'm special, like Jay special, Delphine, Dennis, all of you in this chat are special, and God made one of you, only one of you.
Yeah.
Look at it that way. He made trees, the sky, the beautiful oceans, everything, the grass, the plants, the flowers. And he says, we need one of you too. So that's what I want you guys to realize. There's a reason why. And I also feel like what Spirit's telling me right now is, because my nose is itching, is when people, I feel like even our interactions, like when I feel we heal without knowing we heal people.
Yep.
And the reason why I feel that is because when okay, for instance, we talk about this in previous shows. Let's say you're sitting in the grocery store, somebody comes to your energy and just sparks up a conversation with you, like I know they do with me. My wife used to always make jokes and say, "Oh, you always attract the crazies." And people just start telling me their life story and just start literally. I don't know these people, but what I feel is the reason why that the universe pulled their energy to you in order to heal that energy in some way. So I feel like we had an interaction in a previous life, a previous timeline. So they brought that person back into your energetic field for a healing, a reconnection, and a move on. So I feel like that's when these people just come up to you randomly, you don't know, and they just feel your energy is connected and they feel comfortable to talk to you. There's a reason. That's almost like a deja vu moment, I feel, and there's a healing interaction, even if it's for 10 seconds. And I feel like there's a reason why we connect. And I don't know what that is. It's like a recharge, maybe.
You're still
to keep the balance of the universe, so the universe doesn't get too out of whack energetically, is what I feel.
Say that again, Dennis. I missed that.
I said he's still attracting the crazies.
Always, always.
Hence us.
Right. Well, at least we'll all be in the same loony bins together, so that's good.
Exactly.
I'll be driving the bus, just so you know.
I'll be wearing the white jacket.
We're having a lot of fun.
That's what I told my wife too. I'm like, well, at least the good thing is at least there's going to be a bunch of us that will keep each other.
Yeah, we won't be alone. We won't be alone.
Right?
We won't be alone.
A few years ago, this would have been like, these are people we need to have 5150 these people.
Yeah.
Now we have millions and millions of us across the world. You know what I mean? There's a reason why that we've been awakened. It's so they can't single us out. So that's why
getting lonely.
This was God's way to push us a little more and say, hey, we're too slow on this. You guys need to pick up the pace. I'm pulling. This is what Dennis was saying. I'm pulling you along. That's what I feel like. That's what's going on.
I was getting lonely.
Yeah.
Oh, and a big thank you to the moderators who are out there.
Absolutely.
Chrissy and Ocean.
Ocean, Chrissy, I see out there. So they always know that I'm always very thankful for all you guys that moderate. So, but the good thing is, if you notice though, very seldom do we have these goons that come in here. If you notice that on this channel, it's different. It's different than other channels.
Right.
Yeah.
And that could be a tangible thing for show me. Besides the energy you see in this, the lights flicker and the lights brighten and cameras jump around. I mean, that's energy that's transferring between us. That's proof for people who says, show me. This isn't just weird coincidence. This is not, because it happens all the time. And also that's why I think I've only had to ban maybe 2 times ever in all the shows. And it was quick. And it was usually the porn bot. And it was gone. So I wanted to, the energy in here is a difference. We are protected. Sometimes we have a little infiltration because somebody's energy is pulling that into this. I'm not saying it could be mine. It could be anyone else's, because something we had an interaction with during the daytime. something we've seen on the phone, something we've seen on the TV. Those energies attract. So this is how we get infiltration. So that's why I would say the more we're protected, you work on your own energetic field. Then when our energetic field is strong individually, we come together and think about that. It's like a step up generator. We step up, generate each other. So we just really step up the energetic vibration and frequency. So it's like a step up generator. For some of you guys know, we have more current, more flow. So that's what we do because we're stronger individually, but as a group, watch out.
Yeah.
Yep. It goes for everybody. Was there any questions in the chat? I can't see the chat. I didn't know if you
I
got
jumped around a few times. So,
and you've been freezing on me all night. I mean,
me?
You with the Statue of Liberty at one point.
You are the only one that's giving anybody else a problem tonight, Jason.
That's weird.
Sorry. I've been pulling a lot of energies lately. Like I feel it. Like I've been feeling a lot of energies, good energies though. Not it's all beautiful light energies.
Can I take some of mine back then?
You can. Absolutely. I'll send you some. So I'll send you some right now. See, his light just got brighter.
Yep. You're vibrating so high now, Jason. It's that like it's like you're not solid. It's like you're just like it's all vibrating.
Yeah, that's it. You're
vibrating that way. I kind of feel that way. I feel like vibrationally, like I just feel like tingles, like it feels like something that just keeps moving up and down my body. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, and that's how it's coming out on the screen. It's like you're having the physical representation of your vibration.
That's crazy. So I'm just saying it's a work in progress. And I even had to ask my own guides, what do I need to do for myself? What kind of guidance can you give me to help me progress in my journey? And that's what they told me. I had to focus on myself. What I tell you guys in readings. Also, what the beautiful thing about all the readings that I do for people that are personal, I take things from their readings as well. Because when I get these messages, I'm learning, that's the observer. I'm observing the situation of how I can better myself through that interaction with their guides. So I learn from their guides and their experiences to implement into my life for things that could be better from the spirit world, because the divine they're going to tell you what's going on and they'll tell you how to work it out if you ask them. So that's what I feel like, that's what I've been doing. So that's all part of my growth. And I know that that's something like I have to work on it every day. Every day. This is a work in progress. It's not easy for me. I'm a instantaneous gratification type of guy. I'll do something until it's done. I stay up all night. It doesn't matter to me. I'll do it until it's done. So that's just me. But I feel like that's something I had to kind of take a step back from. That's me trying to get to that end point without going through the journey. I want to get to the end already. So I feel like that's what we need to, even though it's a difficult one, the journey is where the growth happens, guys. It's the journey, even if it's rough, the journey. They keep getting the journey. That's what they keep telling me. It's the journey. So I don't know. What are you feeling there, Mr. J?
I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, in the journey's in the details. What we see as trouble, what we see as strife, what we see as a hard time is usually a learning experience if we look at it.
Yeah.
And it's hard to see that at the moment. But when you start giving yourself credit for responding a certain way, or you think you did the right thing, acknowledge that. I mean, give yourself some credit. That's part of the details. But also the details are just in the little things every day. It can be in the smallest thing. And I understand the instant gratification. But at the same time, if, what's wrong with having a cup of coffee while you're checking out your process? In so many respects, you know what I mean? I mean, take time to stand back and look everything, reassess everything. That's all. But I'm 100% agreement with you, Jason, for sure.
What are you thinking there, Dennis, since you're pulling us along?
Well, since I'm pulling you along, for every
Who's got the bigger rope?
Yeah, for every milestone that you come to, give yourself a little reward. Like when you can learn to roll over, get yourself a reward.
That's actually that's very good, because It's simple in nature, but it's true. We don't I don't reward myself, and that's something I also changed as well. Now I just went on vacation. First time I've taken a vacation in 8 years, almost 7-8 years now, and it was always I don't have enough money. Same thing with this one. I don't have enough to go on vacation, but I finally see, I don't care. My wife and I take a nice vacation, and I'm going to go to a place I want to enjoy and be beautiful. And guess what? I did. And I finally I stopped living in that fear of not having enough. And I just did it. And you know what? The universe has been helping me take care of the things I need to take care of. So they're just letting go of the fears. And just, if your energy pulls you to do these things, that's the part that we get in our own way, because we try to think of things and we overthink things. And then the brain gets involved and the spirit's like, nope, I'm pulling you here, but you want to take me this way. That's what I feel like we need to come better in alignment, because we're pulled even with our own energies in different directions at one time.
Well, vacation is a state of mind.
What was that? The first part, Dennis?
Your vacation is a state of mind.
It is.
No matter where you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I also feel like heaven, like you can, when people define heaven and hell, to me, I feel like heaven and hell can be in the existence you're in now.
Yep.
You create your own hell and you create your own heaven. Just like Dennis said, it's like being, whatever, your own vacation in your own spot, even if it's in a closet and you feel good, whatever it is that you need, even if you get away, a picture, whatever it is that just gets you away from whatever, just from the craziness, that's you creating your own heaven. And that's what we're doing. I feel we're creating our heaven. Heaven on earth comes from us creating our vision of heaven, peace, unity. But we're just going to bring it into the physical realm. Mm-hmm. We're pulling it from the spiritual. These things we just don't make this stuff. Because we're getting downloads. We've already lived this. The divine has already given us this knowledge, and we're putting it into place the way we're supposed to. The dark took over a lot of this, so I feel like we would have been so far advanced.
Yep.
Like it wouldn't even be competition. There wouldn't even be we wouldn't be having this
not even a question. Exactly.
So that's what I feel like it was from the beginning. It was kind of veered off, and God's like, we're not, like what Delphine said. The creator didn't make everything just for someone to say, I'm better than you. Not saying that there's a competition, but God's like, I am the all. I created everything. What makes you believe you're above me? Whoever it says that they're above God, which is nothing, even any of us. So it means all you living in unity. That's why I feel like this is kind of where Spirit is saying we've been out of alignment in our existence for a long time. So I feel like our energy of working on ourselves starts to pull the alignment and the chakras of the earth back into alignment. So I feel like for us to ascend as a planet together, we have to work collectively on ourselves in order to bring things into alignment. And it starts with you connecting with God and the divine.
And everything doesn't have to be a ritual.
No,
it doesn't. I mean, even like meditation, if you can, a lot of people go out for a walk. It's a lot of empty space when you're out there walking by yourself. Do you have a radio in your head, or you're out there, you can't meditate? That's meditation. When you're out there, you keep your mind down, enjoy the surroundings. That's like a walking meditation. It's easy. Calm your mind. Look at the beauty. Take a moment for yourself. That's captivating. Yeah, that's captivating. I mean, it really is. Just letting it go in. I when people go about the meditation, like, right, I've seen it in chat. People like my voice. Okay. To me, it sounds awful, but apparently there's something to it. But it's just one of those things where someone had said, could you do a guided meditation? And I wouldn't know how to do that, because everyone's different. I don't necessarily need someone to guide me. I'm kind of lucky, I guess, but I understand that people do.
Sure. But
I wouldn't know how to go about guiding someone into meditation, because it's my journey. Yeah. So, I mean, we all got to kind of learn what works for ourselves, and that does, but it does come down to just appreciating 5 minutes of calm.
Yeah.
Once you do that, I think you'll want it more. You'll crave it.
Yeah. I
Raise
teach
the
meditation.
vibration.
Yeah. Sorry, we're
No,
overlapping.
you're good.
Sorry, brother. Oh, no, I was going to say absolutely what you just said. I teach meditation. I've instructed people, and the first thing is that, they say, I can't quiet my mind. Well, sometimes the best thing I think to do if you can't quiet your mind is just do a mantra. It's not about having no thought. It's just about focusing. It's about quieting your mind to the point that you can hear your soul. You can't hear your soul if there's a constant chatter. They call it in meditation the monkey mind. So even if you can do a mantra and then in between the mantra, just not think, just listen. We were talking about observing, and that's one of the main things about meditation is at observing. It's closing your mind and it's observing with your ears. It's like hearing. So it's focused in observing. It's closing your mind and shutting everything off so you're observing what you're hearing. You're observing what you're thinking. So it's observing it kind of internally, if that makes sense for people.
I get it.
Absolutely.
And also too, one of the biggest things I think to help people ascend and raise our vibration, and it's huge, is helping other people. And that's getting back to what you were talking about, Jason, about getting out of your own way. I mean, sometimes when we're having the worst day and we think that we have nothing to give to somebody, that's when we have to give the most, because it's when we step out of our own misery, when we change the subject and we get out of our own minds and we focus on helping somebody else. It's amazing how your vibration raises. It's like, I had the worst week last week, but I helped so many people and I stopped thinking about my problems. And it's amazing when you help people, you just feel so good, and you raise your vibration. And then when you help people, it's almost like the teacher becomes the student and the student becomes the teacher. Just like what you were saying with your mentor, how your mentor is so wise, but it's amazing how she's learned from you, Jason, as well. So even if we are having the toughest day and we think that we can't give something to somebody, just listening to them, letting them know they're not alone, letting them know that we're there for them, that we love them, that we're going to be okay and they're going to be okay, and giving them the space to be themselves. I think that's very important.
I agree.
Well said.
I feel okay. So what I started doing, I don't know if you guys do this enough. I've been looking at myself in the mirror in the morning and I say, wow, you're a good looking dude. Wow. I love you. You're so smart. I even thank my higher self all the time. Thank you for these things you're bringing to me, this knowledge that you bring to me, the energies you've been bringing to me, my experiences that you're bringing to me, because your higher self is so you thank that. And I feel like that's something I do is I don't think we do that enough. Like it just like appreciating yourself. And we're taught to, you need to be like someone else. This is who you should be like. You should look like this. You should act like this. But that's the furthest from what God made you to be you. So that's what I feel like we don't do enough of telling ourselves everything is okay. You're enough. You're worthy. If you hear some of my affirmations when I do my healings, I am worthy. That's something I tell myself every day. I am worthy. And I feel like that's something that I started doing something a little bit more. Look at yourself. I mean, and don't look at yourself like, oh man, I look fat, I'm disgusting. That's usually because even you just thinking that, your mind or your energy doesn't know the difference from your thought. Or if somebody said, you tell yourself, I'm ugly. Energetically, it's the same. Because you're belittling yourself. You're pushing your own energy down by how you look. And do you have the power to change some of these things that you're able to do? Absolutely. Not everything is going to change overnight, but it's a work in progress. So I feel like it starts with you saying, hey, in alignment, you're beautiful. You're powerful. You're strong. And mean those things to yourself. Look yourself straight in the eye in the mirror and say, I love you.
And can I add
I did that one time and it cracked.
So much love.
If this is all you see in the mirror, you're missing the point. This body hides our true self.
I see two of me now.
Exactly. We are kind of similar, but if this body hides our true self, if this is all you see, the imperfections, you're missing the point. You got to be comfortable with yourself.
Exactly.
This isn't about, you got crow's feet. Oh my God, you got crow's feet. Guess what? That means you laugh a lot. Okay. I'm just saying, you really got to look past the superficial. Look in here.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about the man in the mirror. The man in the mirror is a mask.
Yep.
See the true self. I mean, like Jason said, I like you. You're a good person. It's one of the first things I said when Kristen first interviewed me. Be honest. I mean, look, you're a nice person. You're a good person.
Yeah.
We got to be able to accept those things. I mean, but you have to come to the realization, if you're only seeing this outer layer, you're missing the point. There's so much more beyond that. So much more.
Beautiful. Yep. Exactly. I agree with that. It resonates so much. And that's where it starts, guys. Loving yourself. If you're, like I said, that means you're okay. So that comes back to body, mind, spirit being in alignment. So if you look at yourself, as he's saying, you're focusing on the out, like that means your spirit
first.
Your spirit is already out of alignment at that point because you already pushed it out of the way. So that has to come into alignment from the spirit. The rest of this will come down energetically, and it's beautiful because the light is shining on you. You're the star of the show with like the star card. That's the divine illuminating you. You're being illuminated in the dark around you. And that's why I feel like that's why we're beacons for good energy and beacons for not so good energy, because we're being highlighted specifically for a reason. And I feel like that's what people need to come into alignment. I feel like so many people like auras. Like I've seen somebody I was reading for the other day, did some reading for him. And by the end of the reading, their aura brightened just from interacting. From a damp, looks like things are just kind of cloaking the energy, literally just taking that breath and releasing this, because even the breathing, if we don't realize, like we could be talking and we're not breathing enough. Like just let things go. Just a simple breath pulls you into alignment. Simple things, changing how we think just a little bit. The different things we do even in your morning, at lunchtime, even if you go to work and you're just something a little different. Instead of saying at my lunchtime, I'm going to slam down my food in 5 minutes and then look the rest of my time looking at my phone, take a minute, enjoy your lunch, take a breath, just breathe. Doesn't mean you have to close just breathing changes your energy.
And the affirmations, you can't use them as a crutch.
Yeah.
At some point, you have to believe them. I am. If you're putting the power into those words, you're not putting the power, you're trying to convince yourself. At some point, you have to accept. It's a great starter, don't get me wrong, but at some point, it comes to the belief you have to believe. Yes. Otherwise, it's a crutch. I mean, I understand crystals, I understand oils, everything like that. But it's, in truth, you don't need them. Right. I mean, they can be a tool. They are definitely, and they do have power. But I'm a watchmaker. What a crystal does is transfer energy. So if you're putting your energy into that crystal, the crystal isn't the energy, you are. Now it can help focus it, but what I'm getting at, when you get to a certain point, it's not the crystal any longer. It's not the sage any longer. It's not the mantras, the oils. It's you. That's what we've been fooled by. It's all within us. I mean, like I said, but they are good tools. Just don't let them be a crutch.
I agree. And that comes back to, they do transfer energy. That's why they're here in abundance for a reason.
And they have a purpose for sure.
Absolutely.
I'm not knocking those, but they transfer energy. They don't have energy. You are the energy.
That's
Yep.
what I told. That's why when we start these like healing sessions, say, grab your sage, and I'm like, you
Right.
don't need it. So I always say, you don't need it. It's all on your intention.
Right.
Your
Yep.
intention is strong enough to clear a room of demons.
I mean, you
You
can
have to believe
magnify
it.
that energy and reflect it back. That's fine. But
Absolutely.
power's not within those. Use them the right way. But
Absolutely.
again, I mean, I have them here. I'm just saying, don't let it be a crutch when you're doing these things. At some point, it's a great tool. It's a learning. It's no different than cards. It's no different than a pendulum.
Yeah.
It's a tool, but you don't rely everything on that. The power's here.
Absolutely. And I love the idea of somebody says, putting affirmations on your bathroom mirror, whatever it is. If that's what you got to do, that's amazing. I'm beautiful. I am whatever it is that you look up, and it's like, I'm proud of that. I look at that and I'm like, you know what? That's amazing. I am that. I am this.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the words are that you resonates with your soul, that's the word, not what you, okay, I need to be this. I need to be, and that's not what you should, the purpose of what you should do is from your soul. What I would say, close your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Calm your mind before you write these affirmations down, or whatever you want, even if it's just one word: beauty, love, whatever it is. These will come to you. I feel if you connect spiritually, your guides words will come to you. Affirmations will come to you. And those are the ones you're going to connect the most with than just seeing other ones you might get online. I am this, I am this, I am that. What I'm saying is it's your own. So your guides are already connecting you to whatever your affirmations are powerful for you, is because they're already guiding it from the higher. So that's what I want. That if you're going to do that Spirit's telling me that's what they want. It has to be from the intention first, from an open heart of intention when you're connecting and quieting your mind before you start writing these affirmations. And I feel that's going to be a healing. I feel that that's a healing for people to transfer that into paper to put up for visualization, because you're pulling the energy from the divine into thought, into writing action, and then back into reaffirmation of spiritual. And it's the cycle that continues on is what I feel is the important part. And I'm getting goosebumps and my hair standing up now. So
that was perfectly said. Perfectly.
You need to come to a point, a goal where your affirmations, the I do's or I ams, and the I ams become knowledge. You are.
I know.
And you don't need the I ams anymore, because you already know that you are.
It comes to belief. Exactly. Another circle.
Yeah. And, going even further, if you're going to say, I am strong, or I am beautiful, or I am powerful, I am confident, you can't just say it. You have to sit there and go, in my daily life, what can I do that's confident? How in this situation, how would a confident person behave? And we have to embody our affirmations. Affirmations, the reason I think that a lot of people use them is because it works on the subconscious, because we've been programmed since the day we were born to be negative and negatively. So, I find that affirmations work good with people when they're kind of like in the background. So they're more getting absorbed from our subconscious. That's why a lot of people listen to affirmations when they sleep. So they can be helpful, but
They do help you focus. They can,
but they can't be a crutch. I mean, you can't just say I am strong and not behave in a strong manner. I am courageous and not behave courageously. You do have to embody those. So you have to sit there and say, okay, if I'm going to be a courageous person, how are my actions going to be courageous? If I'm going to be an authentic person, I have to live authentically. So you can't just repeat these affirmations without actually living them, embodying them.
Empty words. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because they're powerless if you don't embody it. It's just, you're just saying, I am strong. And well, what are you doing? What are you doing to make yourself strong? Are you getting out of your comfort zone? And also, I think too, it's like we can't take these things personally, because these things aren't happening to us because God doesn't love us, or we're unlucky, or because we suck, or we were born on the wrong day. We have to look at every lesson and every trial and tribulation as a learning. Like, what are we learning from it? I mean, if you keep on going through the same trials and tribulations, that's Spirit and God saying, hello, wake up. It's time for you to learn something.
Yeah.
So what are we learning from this? It's not taking, the crappy times seriously and not saying this is happening to me because, God hates me. It's actually a gift, and God's presenting these trials and tribulations to you so you will overcome it and learn something from it.
Mm-hmm. And I want to give a shout out to Harley Ray. The last candle I got, I don't know what it is. This candle just keeps burning. It's like
Is it divine masculine one?
Well,
yeah. It's
you're
like
not burning it at both
forever.
ends this time.
No, I'm not. But I mean, it is literally lasting forever. I'm loving it.
Well, then that must be a divine feminine then.
Divine masculine, but
Just
Right.
it's
divine.
balance. Yeah,
Yep.
it says masculine on one side. It should say feminine on the other.
That's right. Because we need the balance. We need the yin and the yang. We can't have the divine masculine without the divine feminine. We need the both, the sacred balance.
The good wolf and the bad wolf.
Yeah, I'm amazed. It's
So
like burning forever.
And that's me. Like, that's something when you talk about divine feminine, masculine, that's something I feel the divine feminine has really kind of balanced me more recently, is why I've opened up spiritually. You see his lights flickering all over.
Mm-hmm.
That's because I feel like my masculine was so strong. Like, I had to really work on the feminine part of myself, and like showing emotions besides anger. I mean, that's a masculine energy. That's a darker, that's a very reactive type energy. And what I feel the feminine is, you guys, what I've learned from the feminine energy is taking it in, observing things a little bit differently, and it's more of a feeling than just a reaction as much. I feel like that's something I've learned a lot more. And I feel like that's part of learning from my aspect is, like, now even I watch something simple. I mean, like I got choked up the other day. I don't even remember what I was watching. Oh, it was there was this teacher, and there was these little kids, and they were sitting around a circle, and it was like a program that they were doing for parents or something. And they had a little girl was in a wheelchair, and they didn't let the little girl in the circle. They made him stand behind. They made the little girl in the wheelchair be behind the circle, away from them. And she was trying to sing, and they kept it was so, that was so heartbreaking for me. Like, I just feel like before I would have been like, I've always had a soft side for things like that, but it was like that just started kind of like my spirit
flowing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden I see beautiful things. Like, there was another clip that showed me like the darker part of humans. Then I saw another clip of Marines in their dress uniforms, fully decked out in a flood. Somebody was caught in a flood in their car. And what do the Marines do? They get out and they're walking through in their dress uniforms, and they say, "You need some help." And they push this person out of this in their Class A uniforms. And that brought tears to my eyes too, but in a different way, saying that there's good in humanity, just like there's dark in humanity. So that's what I feel like. That's something I've really been noticing more of. And I've been feeling a lot more. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's the thing, is I get out of my own way and I start to feel more. And I feel like that's becoming into more alignment with even how I think. Things don't trigger me anymore, because spiritually I'm feeling from that instead of how I feel I should react to something, or how I've been reacting before, when I know that there was more to me. And I mentioned before, Spirit told me, you can't keep going this way. This is not where you need to be. You're not in the right place. So I feel like that's the first thing, is looking in the mirror once again. Is this the best version of me that I can be? Even if we try, and we're trying, and I do this and I do that, and I run my kids here and I do that, like all of us. But are you being the best version of you? That's where it starts. Not what you can accomplish. It's are you being the best version of you?
You are today, and tomorrow's another best version, and so on and so on. Agreed.
Absolutely.
You have to take the light and the dark. They complement each other. I mean, think about just God, the infinite creator, wherever you want to. I call God because I was brought up Catholic. But think about God. I mean, God could just end all this in an instant. He could just wipe his hand. He doesn't have a hand, and end all this. So you think about it. Why doesn't God just wipe us all out, or wipe out Satan? He could just do it in an instant. So even God's on a journey. I mean, think about it. God created us because he has his own journey. He has his own lessons to learn. And he created us because he couldn't learn that as a solo. So God is learning from all these horrible things that are happening. It's hard for us, for our human minds to comprehend, but God's also on a journey and he's learning from us and he's learning from the light. I mean, and also from the dark, because if he wasn't, he would have wiped out Satan a long time ago. So there's a reason for everything. So we just have to kind of let go of our human brains and think that we can actually conceive what our infinite creator has in store for us. But we can't, we can only have a glimpse of it and think that we know, but we don't.
Our
Yeah.
purpose is what he needs.
Right. Exactly. And it's his will. We have what do we want? But what do we know? What we want could be the worst thing for us. I mean, how many times did we have a disappointment or things did not go our way and we were so upset about it, and then down the road we said, oh my God, that was the best thing that happened for me. So it's like there's a broader mind, there's a mind that knows better, and we just have to kind of let go of our own what we want and our own desires, and realize there's a bigger plan, and we're a part of that, and it's just glorious, but we just have to kind of step out of ourselves and get out of our own way.
I believe.
What were you shuffling there, Jason?
What's that?
What were you shuffling there?
Just some cards, just to see what spirit maybe was having with these cards, because I'm starting to work with them. So, like, I've really been pulling like different energies with these ones that are good. So I was just kind of seeing what they got.
Well,
so.
something told you. What'd you get?
Oh, I'm gonna pull.
Is he freezing? Is he just freezing all over the place?
So yeah.
Okay.
Jason is just totally freezing, and he's just like pixelated tonight, but that's his energy. I'm getting that's his energy. So he's never going to be in a solid form.
He's just a big vibrator.
Oh my goodness, man.
That was beautiful. I'm sorry. I enjoyed that.
This is the PG-13 version.
Yes, it is. I apologize.
Well, a spirit one by that. A spirit one.
Yes.
Back massager.
Yeah, it brings a real mystical experience.
It does, actually. So just kind of what I was getting here, and this funny thing is, so what I'm getting is this: the Great Mother. So this is Earth. I feel like the Great Mother, this is Earth in general. I feel like she's ascending. She's moving into this. So I feel like this is something she's in the process of moving along in this journey, as we all are. But I also feel in the middle card, I feel like there's some healing. This is a healer card for me. So I feel like there's some healing going on. And the first card is with Mother Earth. So I feel like there's some healing that goes on, and I feel like we heal Mother Earth through, it comes back to what we talked about, healing through ourselves. And then I feel like as we move forward, the reason why we're doing that, this is freedom. This is freedom for me. So this tells me what I'm getting is, and honestly, I feel like we're moving along. We're going to heal. We're here to heal. We're here to heal ourselves with that middle card. This is our energies. We're here to heal ourselves and hear the vibration of others and Mother Earth. So this is Earth. She's needing some assistance from us as well. I feel like collectively we're going to vibrate at a higher level. As for us to ascend like Mother Earth, we have to heal in order to be free as we move forward. So I feel also there's crystalline. We're going to become crystalline, or crystalline beings are working through this energies who I feel at this point. So I feel like we're going to ascend, heal, become free in crystalline beings. So I feel like this is maybe higher self or our ancestors who are speaking through us, through me right now, is what I feel. So that tells me just kind of what we mentioned. All the topics we literally covered, the cards told me to pull some cards. So it tells me Spirit is really enjoying what we're talking about. That tells me that they're acknowledging that we're triggering people to grow, which is what we want to do. So What are you thinking there,
know
Mr.
what I'm
Dennis?
thinking, Dennis.
No, you don't want to know.
You sure?
I've already gone
Yeah.
down that path.
Yeah, he went down there already.
Oh man.
I was
But-
kind of pulling cards while you
Lighten
were
up.
doing that, and it's funny. Like when you pulled, I got almost the same exact cards, and then I did. It's just like confirmation. But what I got, the biggest card that fell out, is that right there, the death card. So, what does that tell us? We're going through a major, major transformation. It's like we just have to learn to let go of pre-existing forms and let go. Just like anything that is not serving us is we have to let go of. And if we don't let go of, it's going to be taken out of our lives anyway. People, circumstances, things. I got the moon card. So that's the period of uncertainty, fluctuation. And got this. So the Four of Cups is all the fighting and infighting. And as long as we keep on doing that, Five of Pentacles, that's like loss, financial loss of self-esteem, walking away. So it just kind of, the cards just pretty much confirm what we've been saying all along. We have to be one. We have to be unity. We have to be one unit. Waves in the ocean.
Yes.
One tribe.
Yep.
And I use that actually when I'm doing my healings for people who've had my healings. As I'm doing some of these things, I channel a lot of times. I'll channel something similar to that, and I'll tell people as I'm going, I'm getting these channels, and I'll be like, I'll say something along the lines of like a beautiful ocean, as the waves that come to you, are bringing you light, love, abundance, and healing, and every wave that leaves is taking away things that do not belong, do not serve your purpose. Those things. So I kind of feel like that's my way of that's how spirit channels through me when I heal for people. And I feel like that's something that others can do that. Even if you close your eyes, like I can't think, just take a breath. You don't have to even close your eyes for a minute, take your breath. And even try to visualize something. Oh, a beach. I know most people have seen water at least on TV and the ocean, what it sounds like. Just trying to visualize something. If you can't, that's okay. Just slow your breathing down. That's where it starts. Because the faster you breathe, also your energy goes up. You burn more all these things are all connected. It's all about vibration. So if you just need to come back into tune, even for a second, at work, at home, kids are going crazy. I got to run kids to practices. I got to go. Believe me, I've been there, done that as well. All these things. Oh, I got to do this. I got to mow the grass. Those are all things because we're programmed with this, and this needs to happen. So take a minute, take a breath. Be thankful that you're able to even do those things. That's the first thing I started doing is like, you know what? I'm thankful I can walk. That little girl in the wheelchair, I honestly said, thank you very much, Father God, for everything that I have, being able to walk. That's where I go to now when I see things like that. I thank you for what I have. So that's my way of changing my thought process, is just being thankful. That's what I feel like. It starts being thankful for what you do have. Being thankful that you're breathing, thankful that people love you. Even if you don't feel love, God loves you. You should love you. That's where it starts. Loving you. And the rest will just come. Like Dennis. Dennis is like, I feel like I'm the happiest when I'm by myself. That's what I know he said that before. So, I feel like he gets his peace that way. That's just his way of releasing the energy that he does.
I can relate to that. I can relate to that a lot.
Yep,
I'm
me too.
comfortable there.
Yep. Could never be alone because I hated myself and I felt so poorly about myself and I couldn't be in my own company. And the more I meditated and the more work I did on myself, both spiritually and through therapy and just general life, now it's hard for me to be around other people. I've become a kind of like a snob, but not a snob like I think I'm better than other people. It's just that when you do your energy work, it's you open yourself up and you're more impacted by the energy of other people, and it's easier to control your energy when you're not around people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Being alone doesn't mean that you're lonely
Mm-hmm.
for some people.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Absolutely. That's actually alone is good. We need to be alone sometimes and quiet our energies and quiet our souls. Like sometimes my wife's like, you haven't said anything really to me all day. Well, I told her I'm not being mean. I'm just pulling my energy in so I can try to harness myself. I can process things that I need to process because I don't want to push something off that I'm not energetic. That's what I'm being more diligent on the stuff I put out. So I feel like that's my able to kind of absorb, like I said, observe, push out instead of just push and go, get it, go. So I feel like that's me being able to say, okay, I'm being more diligent of what I release and how I release it. So I feel like that's something that spiritually is telling me very much so you're working on that. So that's what I feel like it comes down to this, guys. It's the same thing. Observe, even when it's like you just want to just reach out and just blast somebody. Boom, I mean, believe me, that's when that's the time, because that's a trigger. There means there's some insecurity in your mind or something that's triggering you to be like, I am pissed. I don't want to hurt this person, whatever. It could be another energy. It could be your whatever. So it means that's a trigger for you. So that tells me like that's me, only my own personal, that I can relate to you guys. That's something I have to work on. I had to work on those things every day, like things that used to really push my buttons. Not even a second thought of it anymore. Like I'm like, yeah, whatever. The online stuff, the stuff I'm reading now, there's some triggers for me still. But when I read something and after I read it, I just say, you know what, I'm done. I go away from it right away because I know at that point that there's something that's triggering me because of it's whatever I'm reading doesn't agree with me with for whatever reason. That means it's like, okay, there's a reason why I saw it, but that's how I react to this is different than before. I step away from it. That's what I'm saying. You'll learn to, when something triggers you right away, once you step away from it, I'm telling you, and you look at things from a different perspective, you'll be able to just view things so much differently about yourself. Even that's the part that I'm very thankful for. That I'm just growing. I mean, that's something I'm literally like very, very thankful to God for.
Self-realization. Yeah.
I was so closed off before, and I'm just cracking the box open at this point is what I feel. So, I mean, it tells me that there's light. I see the light coming in. That's what I want you guys to see is same thing, light. No matter if you feel you're behind or you're ahead or wherever you are in your journey, that's where you're supposed to be.
Yep.
Exactly where you're supposed to be.
You are where you're supposed to be. Exactly.
Yeah. Don't compare yourself to others. I mean, we all do it. It's easier to see and look and see the grass is greener, but we all have our gifts and we're all special. We're all worthy. We all have things to bring to the table.
Cool. So we're about 2 hours into this, guys. So I would say ground yourself. Different grounding could be anything. I stand on a grounding pad if it's freezing outside. Sometimes I go outside, even in the snow, and put my feet in the snow. It stings my feet for a minute, but I hold it there. I feel like there's some things you can do. It's all on your intention. It's your intention. So that means that means you grounding yourself, because you can ground through concrete, all that. That's how strong your energy is. So I feel like this is something that you call in the energy from the divine and you ground yourself every day. Quiet your mind. That's grounding yourself, because when you quiet and take a breath, things become into alignment in order for you to ascend and grow. And the ascension, that's another thing I'm talking about with the ascension thing. Ascension is another term we put on something to try to understand.
Exactly.
And the thing is the term may not be that, because I feel each one of us ascends every day. Who knows how far you ascend to? You could be peeking into the 12th dimension. I'm good for another 5 hours.
5 hours.
That's what I love about Dennis, man. He's a trooper. So that's the next military involved. That's why.
Real quick, Jason, there. Thank you to Sunflower Super Sticker. And
absolutely. Yeah, I got it. I appreciate it. Yeah. So I was going to say thank you at the end for everybody. Thank you, Sunflower, for all of you guys who donate. It's amazing. It just helps me be able to, keep this stuff going so we can get more collective information. I wish we could all meet at the bar or wherever, somewhere nice, a restaurant, whatever, and just talk. Just to get together like they used to, the pubs back in the old days. That's how they would get together. We go to the pubs. They would go to social. socials, yeah, whatever. Down and down. But what I mean is, like, honestly, that's why this is
I think I'm going to work on that with the whole tribe getting together at some point.
Absolutely. So see, it's all flickering. So yeah, we definitely need to.
Well,
So
you know
I'm
where
just
to
telling you
come.
guys.
It's all flickering here.
Absolutely. We always flicker, you know that. So somebody actually told me,
My
SOUldier
friend
light.
flicker.
Somebody told me to grab a light bulb one time. Like, you should grab a light bulb when your energy is so bright. To see if you can make the light bulb
You
flicker.
both should. Yeah, you both should.
So,
Absolutely.
Although I did see Delphine freeze up a couple times too.
I did.
Yeah,
I froze up.
At least on my end. Yeah, I saw you.
No, I'm getting
freeze
there.
up a
So I'm
couple
getting there.
Yeah, you flickered too a couple of times.
Oh, I'm good. I didn't want to be left out. I need to
There
flicker
you
like men
go.
flicker, you know?
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. And also, I do want to shout out to the moderators. I'm a moderator groupie. I'm in love with you all. So I just, Real World Chrissy, Ocean and Dell, you have the best moderators. And if it wasn't for the moderators, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't, you know, so. And we got to get them on screen more. That's another thing that I'm going to work on, because there's so many moderators that are shy and have great gifts. They have a lot to offer, and we need to get them on the screen.
Love it.
I agree with
Yep.
that. And that was something that I was, bringing more people on that are comfortable. I asked other people that if they're comfortable to come on. So I have asked multiple people. They're just not ready in their journey yet. And that's why I feel like once they're ready, they're going to bloom. So, and in this channel, they're called warriors. You guys are.
Yes, sorry, they're the warriors. That's right. You're the warriors because you
divine warrior. You're a divine warrior.
Divine warriors. I mean, just all of them, just everyone, just aspiring alchemist, Lakeside Laura. I haven't met you personally, but you guys are top notch, and I look forward to meeting you all. I am going to work on us getting all together next year. Just we'll have to see what happens when the ascension happens.
It has to be at Dennis's place. I think he's got the energy. I think he's on to something.
Okay, Dennis, do you have a big enough place for about 3,000 people?
We'll find room.
Exactly. Throw me in a tent. I'm good.
Yeah.
But hey, before and I just want to let you guys know before we go, is anything you want to leave the group with? Jay, I'm going to pull some cards at the very end to kind of see what Spirit has for me. And I feel like this is very good. Because even before we started, I don't know about you before, I just want to say I'll leave it. I'll kind of finish off, but I'll let you go to Jay. Anything you want to leave the group with?
Nice, good topic. I thought this was a good topic when I saw it. And it's a reminder for those that are a little further along, those that are just getting started. Always. And see, I'm somebody that kind of looks at things and always assesses, like, am I doing this right? And I look back a lot and I look forward a lot. So it's always good just to constantly improve. That's all. But it's good topic tonight. I really enjoyed it. And nice to finally see your face, Lady D. Dennis, always a
challenge.
Well, no, I was going to say something. I'm trying to go off the vibrator thing. Stimulating.
The vibrator and the Lorena Bobbitt thing.
Always.
Hey, gotta keep it interesting, right?
What this channel's all about.
It's
I was going to segue in there, but it didn't happen.
Awesome. How about you, Dennis? Anything you want to leave the group with besides
I have a couple
vibrators and bobbits? Flicker.
Other than that, the stronger your light is, the less chance darkness can settle in.
Very good.
And I wanted to give a shout out to Metatron and Michael for their protection and assistance for this.
Awesome.
Since I haven't been blocked out of it. It's
we'll
only
get you back in.
That's awesome.
Well, we won't go in there.
Well done.
Awesome. How about you there, Delphine? Anything you want to leave the group with before?
Well, just that I think that we're all more powerful than we realize, and that it's time for us to all step out of our comfort zones and not be afraid to try things. And just it's all about helping each other. Like I said, we're all we all have individual gifts, and we all have, I read tarot, you read tarot, and it's not about competition or about making money. I mean, we all need to pay the bills. It's about us coming together, helping each other. And when we help each other, we help ourselves. So don't be afraid to be powerful. Don't be afraid to reach out. And, if anyone needs anything, you feel alone, if you don't feel comfortable with Jay or Dennis, if you want to feel more comfortable with a woman, we're all here for you. We're all together, and it's all, we're all part of the soul tribe. It's not about the individual, it's about the collective.
I agree.
Good job, Dennis. That's all I'm going to
Except for
say. Good
Dennis.
job.
It's all about Dennis. No, in case you all didn't know, it's all about Dennis.
How about you, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, what I
You
would
gonna
say
speak through the cards?
before I pull some cards, I want to just, I was going to try to, I'm getting a lot right now, so I just wanted to
I was going to do the pendulum, but I thought I might hypnotize myself.
Be right back, sweetie.
Okay. So what they're telling me, just moving forward, I asked, what message do you have? So I feel like this is an earth element. So it tells me what I get is this is seeds have been well planted. This tells me in the past. So it tells me that we're planting seeds every day that will lead to our success moving forward. So it tells me that there's something going on. There's been seeds well planted in this journey in the past. Then I have the spring. I feel like the spring coming up, we're going to see some things really start to change. And I feel like for the better for us as far as energy, because with spring comes renewal. Right now in the fall and the winter, we should be in a place of reviewing the year that just passed. The things that the fruits of our labor, as I mentioned, the seeds have been well planted, kind of resting, renewing, getting ready for the springtime when we have to plant more seeds and continue to grow. So then I have the shaman card. So the shaman card tells me like we need to, well, this is also be open to energy, healing. This means observing. So shaman, see my light just changed. So the with the shaman card, that tells me like every person, shaman is just a term. So it tells me you have to be open to different energies. That means frequencies, if they're lower, if they're higher, as we talked about. So you may have to raise vibrations of others around you. That's what shamans do. They're able to observe. So that tells me to step back. What that's also telling me is to be able to step back from yourself and get out of your own way in order for you to heal, to progress. Because the next card, I mean, the base of my deck I have is the heart chakra. So that tells me that the seeds have been well planted, okay? Out of love with the heart chakra. That means these things that we've been dealing with from the past that keep coming back, as we mentioned, working on yourself, continue to progress. We need to let go of those from the heart, a heartfelt place. Like I said, by the spring, I feel things are going to be a little bit sunnier. The flowers are going to bloom. So that tells me like the seed's been planted for your spiritual growth, and that this is going to start to blossom, to bloom into a brighter future. And the shaman card, as I mentioned, with the heart chakra, comes back to observing, but healing your shamans healing your heart, because a lot of us have been harmed and hurt, and our ego gets in the way. Like I mentioned, there are some things that I kept pulling from, like, why am I having these thoughts when I really don't want to have these thoughts? That's my way of observing as the shaman card to heal my heart. And it starts from your heartfelt place. And that's where I feel like a lot of people need to, in my readings, there's a lot of things people hold on to. And the spirit is always, the message is similar in a lot of ways. You got to let go. We have to transition. We have to move. That's the first reading I pulled in this. We have to flow like the wind through the matrix that we are creating, your own matrix, noticing patterns about yourself, patterns around you, that's that observation, observing in order to progress in this journey. I feel that's the way you'll be able to maneuver, and they'll be able to heal, forgive. That was the card that came up, was forgiveness. So far what Spirit's telling me, everything we mentioned, I love it. They always come to this heart, forgiveness, work, progress is coming. You should be proud of the progress you've made from where you've started. The journey is hard, but it's fulfilling. know that everything around you, you affect, good or bad. Create not a matrix, but notice the patterns of yourself, grow past them, work, and this will all come into alignment. So that's kind of what Spirit has for me tonight. Before we go, though, I want to do a quick little healing for everybody, like we always do. And I feel like that's a good way to raise the vibration of others around. You don't have to grab if you want to grab your stuff, you can grab your sage, your candle. You don't need it, your Palo Santo, but it's all intention. Okay. Tune in tomorrow if you guys are interested and have some questions. I'm also doing another live reading, reading on Thursdays and Mondays now. So for all the people that don't have time to maybe jump on Mondays.
Grabbing my stuff.
So he's got it all. Awesome. All right. So if you have your stuff, like I said, it's all intention. So what I want you to do, we're just going to do something real simple tonight. We're just going to close our eyes. And we're going to slow our breathing down. The first thing you need to do is take a deep breath in. And when you breathe in, nice and slow, I want you to affirm that you're breathing in the divine life from God. And every breath out, you release things that do not belong. Every breath in is the divine breath of life from God. Every breath out, release things that do not belong. Every breath in is divine life from God. Every breath out, release things that do not belong. And I want you to quiet. I want you to pull in your energy I want you to bring in this beautiful visualization or interaction, whatever you've had, something that brings a smile to your face. Grandchild, mother, father, brother, sister, friend, interaction, spouse, whatever it may be, God, yourself. Something that brings a smile to your face and brings joy to your heart. I want you to pull this energy in. I want you to open your heart. Open this thing that wants to stay shut. I want you to open it. I want you to visualize your heart opening like a beautiful lotus flower. And I want you to recall all your energy. I want you to ask the divine. I want you to say, I am recalling all energy that I've given away. I'm recalling all of my energy now with healing, forgiveness, and light. And I'm sending away all energies that I've taken or been given to me with light, forgiveness, and healing. And I want you to heal, release, forgive, acknowledge, ascend, move past. You are worthy. This journey is difficult. You are abundant. You are loved. And you are divine. So be it, and so it is. So you pulled in your energy now. So the energy is in alignment. Okay, we didn't push it back out. In case you didn't notice, this is the difference than we usually do. We didn't push the energy back out. I wanted you to recall it, to heal yourself. That's where we have to align before we push the energy back out. That's the biggest message that Spirit gave me tonight. Pull your energy into a line, and then we can push out. So thank you guys once again for tuning in. It's always awesome. Like I said, this has been always an amazing time. All the energies always are beautiful. All the people in the chat, I really appreciate your guys' support. All the warriors, the family warriors that are just kicking butt. You guys keep it going. I love the energy in the chat. This chat and this channel, I'm so thankful for because it's different than any other channel that you're going to see on YouTube. I bring the spiritual. Not only do I give answers to people what I get, but I try to teach what I'm learning or what I'm giving, because what I feel like I can do better at that is teaching, to give somebody the tools to move past this hurdle that they've had. So I feel like that's why, and I also feel like that's part of it, is the healing, the energy. It's good. That's why I feel like when I get done with this, it's so beautiful and amazing. And I always send you guys light and love and energy So I just want you guys to know that. Send your energy to the people that you want every day. Recall your energy. Even if you close your eyes and breathe, I am recalling all energy that I've given away. Do that. I'm sending away all energy that does not belong to me or does not belong. You can do that in a quick little breath and slow your breathing down, even for a minute throughout your day. I want you to at least do that multiple times in your day moving forward. Just breathing, just slow your breathing down for a minute. Okay? That's where it starts. That's bringing things into alignment. Bringing things to alignment. That's the most important thing I can give you guys. So thank you guys once again. I love you all.
Good night,
See you
everybody.
guys
Love
next week, hopefully.
Is this
So-
intermission? I'm still good for 5 hours.
5 more hours? No. Soldier of Light out, guys. Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Love you all.